I'm going to end up hitting the wall. Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our live podcast. I don't even need to call it that, but let me just move my leg because that's uncomfortable like
You're
that.
kind of crammed in the corner here.
I know we're trying to fit in over here. That's because I moved my table in a different direction, and now it's a little harder to kind of have both of us on here. So we're trying to make it work.
But I got kicked out of the command module. I only got to spend one day in that was it.
That's because you just don't know what you're doing. So okay,
Get out of
the command map module. I'll do it. So welcome, you guys. If you guys are on here with us, please say hello. We're not going to spend too much time tonight. We will have more to share with you guys, of course. So Bobby will have more to share next week, but he's not feeling up to snuff. Did I say it right? He's not feeling that great. And actually, I'm not feeling that great either because I have a migraine. But you know what? We are pushing through the storms, right? Because that's what we do is we got to push through the storms no matter what. So we are here with you as we promised. So hello. If you guys are on here with us, please say hello and let us know that you're with us. And so I'm just going to hand it over to Bob now. And here's the baton.
Thanks, honey. I've got the baton, everybody.
Hi, Lou. She said, nice hoodie. What, you don't like my jacket?
She gave me this one. I'm sitting here in my birthday suit, my birthday hoodie.
Hello, Miss Clara. It's so good to have you on here with us. Thanks for joining us.
So I'm going to talk a little bit more about my book today.
Cool.
One of the chapters is going to be about my dad. My dad was from down south. He was an outdoorsman. He loved to hunt. He loved to fish.
Hi, Mel.
Hey, Mel. And he was also a World War II veteran. He drove a tank with General Patton.
Which is so cool. I saw so many pictures. I've never had an opportunity to meet his father because I met him after he had just passed away.
So he saw a lot. And when I was a kid, I knew my dad was in the war. Well, my dad's in the war. And I'd take his medals and play with them and lose them. And, as we did, my cousins, we'd all put on little plastic army helmets and we'd play war. And then as I got older, my dad didn't get a scratch on him all through World War II. He was in the Battle of the Bulge. He was actually sent out to draw fire in the Battle of the Bulge. And the track came off his tank and he had to force his crew out with a pistol to put the track back on. So he goes through all this to the very end of the war, doesn't get a scratch on the outside.
Isn't that crazy, you guys? Wow. Talk about a miracle. Like was a living miracle from the wars.
So as I got older, my dad would drink. He could go months and years without drinking, but once he started drinking, he was trying to drown something. And he did some foolish things, and I saw it. And then, of course, you get to be at a certain age where you know everything. And I started judging my father very harshly. Mm. And I can't remember how long that went on. Oh, I do remember. The movie Saving Private Ryan came out, and we went to see it.
Do you guys know that movie?
It's about World War II. And I had cramps in my arm. I'm sitting in that chair watching the movie, and a veteran said the only thing that was missing was the smell of war, the sound and everything, the chaos. I had cramps in my forearms because I was like gripping the thing, and I was thinking about my dad through this. And you wonder, what would I have done if I was there? Would I have been a coward? Would I have been brave? Would I just, curled up in a ball? He said he remembered they were pulling up in the landing craft. He remembered the guy's name. It was an older man. Dad was like 18, 19 years old. This guy took a gun out and shot himself in the leg on the amphibious vehicle so he wouldn't have to get off the boat. So I'm watching that. I watched the movie and it clicks what war is. I mean, it was like traumatizing just watching the movie. So I'm thinking, my father saw that. And then it was like, oh, my father was in the war. That's why he's like, then I'm thinking, who am I to judge this guy?
Mm-hmm.
So I went home and I wanted to talk to him about it. And we sat down at the kitchen table and he described the opening scene. He'd never seen the movie. He said, why would I want to see it? I goes, I was there.
Mm-hmm.
And he described that with dead boys everywhere, the sea's red with blood, dead fishes. And he only got a few words out. And his eyes welled up with tears. He couldn't, it was like 55 years to that point, probably, since he'd seen this stuff, and he couldn't talk about it. And it totally changed the way I looked at my father.
Where's the tissues?
I got some. I thought I was going to need them for my nose.
I rubbed off on him, you guys.
We're the weeping prophets. So the whole point is, you go to Matthew chapter 7. What does Jesus say? Judge not, or you'll be judged. And the way you judge and measure it, it'll be measured to you.
Mm.
How many times do we pass judgment on people when we don't know the whole story?
That's so true. That is huge.
Yep.
We
don't know all the facts. We don't know where they've been, where they're coming through, what they've survived.
That's right. That's right. Wow. That's a big part of your story for sure.
Indeed.
I know it is.
And I think the Native Americans say not to judge anybody until you've walked a mile in their shoes. And then if you're a mile away and you decide to judge them, you're a mile away and you've got their shoes. Like, that's how I got my Python boots.
I had to stop for a second, you guys, because I wasn't sure if he was.
She was going to go, really?
I know. I thought I was going to say, nuh-uh, because I knew where those Python boots came from. So, hi, Desiree. I'm so glad you're here.
Hey, Des.
Yeah. So how does that tie in a little bit with your story? Just a little bit. Give a little nugget of how that is.
I sat in the judgment seat then. When you sit in judgment with somebody, you're a judge, jury, and executioner of their character. You're God. That's pride. God says not to judge people. I mean, we judge things, but the person, that's up to him to judge.
That's right.
So I was the judge, jury, and executioner. And guess what? Now, years later, I got to be the one being judged and get to see what that feels like.
Right.
Not so good.
Right. So you guys, there's so much more to his story, but we wanted to share just a little piece. And every single week, we're going to share just a little, tiny little piece about his story, just so you guys can kind of get an idea as to what his book is all about. But yeah, that's actually a big, I know that speaks to some of you. I know it does. It speaks to probably all of you because we all do it, right? We all have that, just that inclination of wanting to judge someone and think that we're better. And that is exactly what Bobby was saying is that, that's where pride steps in and we're no better. He's no better than me. I'm no better than him. And and we're no better than you guys either. Just because we're doing this live podcast doesn't make us any better than you. Trust me. Anyway, love you guys. Thanks for stopping by to hear a little bit more about his story. And we love you guys. Hey, Melissa. And
I was just writing down I'm trying to map it all out so it makes sense, the flow of the book. And it's my story is his story. History, his story, right?
That's right. That's right.
You all have his story. He's writing his story with you.
That's right. And Bob already has the name of his book, but we're not telling you yet.
And if we come on, if we run out of things to talk about, we could just make stuff up too, because they won't know.
Love you guys. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. And we will be back with you guys again next Monday.
Good night.
Bye.